Hello, everyone. You're welcome to this edition of the MBA Warri Branch with Mina series report. This program is designed to have a playback of what happened yesterday, the 13th day of April 2021, which uh, marked a unique day in the history of the NBA Warri branch. As a matter of fact, it is no longer news that it was right in the city of Warri yesterday that we kickstarted um, the much talked about NBA Warri branch with Mina series. I must admit that it was a wonderful program. The speakers were great, in terms of their presentations, and the insights were wonderful. I must say that if you missed what happened yesterday, you also have the opportunity of enjoying a wonderful playback of what happened yesterday. That is the essence of this particular report. We hope you are going to enjoy it. It is not about me now, it is about what happened yesterday. Sit back, you enjoy it. We are actually streaming live, from the Facebook page of the MBA Warri branch. And as it is often said, that the MBA Warri branch is a radioactive branch. We always want to come up with new ways of doing things because of the dynamics of law practice today. So this is just our own way of doing it, bringing you everything live and direct.
And I've stated that the entertainment industry is often faced with commercial and business obligations that necessarily involve areas of law, including copyright, trademark, issue of tort, securities, corporate law, even constitutional law, and even international law. Entertainment law in Nigeria is a relatively novel area of practice, which owes its existence to the entertainment industry. Although appearing somewhat similar, legal framework of entertainment law differs from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. This is ultimately due to the existence of various types and kinds and systems and policies of government who in democratic dimensions are primary representatives of the people. So what we're saying is that every jurisdiction regulates their entertainment law the way they want to regulate it. So you have a duty of take for example, you have a work of art in Nigeria, which spans all over the world like a Nollywood now. You have to be able to find a way to protect those rights so that people don't just copycat and do the same thing. So you have to look at, I've showed what are the legal framework in India, and what I've tried to do competition so that you can see that what we are trying to do here has been done several in different jurisdictions. We don't see why we cannot do our own or make it right. So I've also mentioned that the media is powerful influence on society and regulated and controlled by various legislations. So you must also look at.
Hello, everyone. You just you observed something just happened. Now I had to pause the video so that you can understand what we are actually talking about now. The person speaking, the guest speaker there, the panelist, Sitwe, is actually speaking generally on the emerging areas of legal practice, what we have today. So, is actually coming up with an overview of the dynamics of the emerging areas of legal practice, what you are expected to know. So I just want to come up with this in order for you to have an idea of what he is saying. In fact, unfortunately, we had to come up with his own video halfway when he had actually started making his presentation. Nevertheless, you are going to enjoy whatever he's got to tell us about the dynamics of the emerging areas of legal practice as they all relate to sports and entertainment law.
all that. And I've also gone to check, I mean, just give you a hint of what legal framework looks like in entertainment law in the US. And I've also now have look at the situation in the US. I'm actually rushing because you said 20 minutes and I don't want to spill into my other colleagues' time.
No,
Then I now,
but you can do a detailed work. We can accommodate
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, take your time.
So normally where I think is quite opposite. I said the role of the Nigerian legal practitioner in the entertainment industry. I said the scope of lawyer services in the entertainment sector are numerous. A lawyer's service may be required at the creation of original works of entertainment, where formal contract needs to be drawn on licensing and distribution of such works. Therefore, whether you are a courtroom litigator or arbitrator, mediator, conciliator, or a transactional lawyer, the legal services may be required by entertainment practitioners. So there's a whole lot to play there, right from the conception. But most times, people in our clients, they go and add the movie first before they do the contract. And they now start having issues with that distribution guy. So because they don't enough lawyer focusing on those industries and providing robust services, you can have you can provide your service even if they don't have the money to pay you at the outset. Then you can work out an arrangement where you can have a contingent relationship like they do mostly in US. In fact, there is actually agreed that you get about 3% of whatever the person gets. And so we have to find a way without breaking our rules of legal conduct on how to have such contingent arrangements. So I think entertainment law requires several areas depending on what your client needs are. You may be expected to handle anything from criminal matters to contract disputes to estate planning or intellectual property issues. What I mean by that is when I say criminal matters, if you have ever worked with any artist, we all know about Naira Marley. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put him down, but just to show that from time to time, if you're already in that, people who are gifted sometimes tend to be a bit carried away. And they do have all sorts of legal requirements. So even if you are preventing one as a main lawyer, you have a capacity to also firm out several aspects where you are not so competent. So there's always enough for everyone if the industry is using our services. So we have to find a way to also be part of that. And I've said that there are a wide range of different areas involving media and all types of short TV, films, and publishing, advertising, internet, and social media, news media, all various legal fees. Even if you are just an internet lawyer, you can also determine when they want to put their products on the net and what kind of commitments they would do to make sure they are not cheated out. So if you do not have an experience area with what I've said, you can partner with any of your colleagues to get together with your understanding of the priorities and concerns of all private and public clients. The entertainment law effectively plans, structures, negotiates, and documents transactions, anticipates issues, and provide creative strategies and advice. So I don't know if I should repeat this, that your duty is very serious. So you plan with your client, structure the transaction, negotiate and document transactions, anticipate issues, and provide creative strategies and advice. So these are very critical. It's not just enough for all of us to wake up every morning and stay at the magistrate court and say, oh, Juso is on strike, so you stop working. Even if Juso is on strike, you have a way to better yourself by reading up some of these things. And start with the local band in your area and make sure they are not cheated. Ask them how do they do their contracts, what are the issues, and let them know that if they use you, they are trying to get more money from what they do. So you have to preach your own gospel without necessarily being champatious by going to solicit. But you have to also provide. You can even write articles in areas where you have competence to draw attention to what you can do. And I mentioned that the entertainment law also demands the practitioner to be well grounded in legal areas of law. Major contract, labor law, very critical because even the musicians, they also have subcontracts for their own workers. You have to make sure everything is properly regulated within the labor law. Then securitization, securities, taxation, immigration. This sometimes you have to bring foreign artists into Nigeria. All these are regulated by various rules and regulations, and even law to some extent. How do they remit their money? How do they get paid? So these are issues you must address and have a free this thing. I also said the entertainment lawyer must know specific stats on regulating the entertainment industry. I must understand how business is done. You see, most times, most of us as lawyers, I'm involved in the Chamber of Commerce. People ask me, what are you doing there? Why are you wasting your time? Let me tell you the truth. If you are not sitting at the table in any area where you practice, you are wasting your time because all that you get is useless job because the guys, when they have problems, they want solution providers. They don't want you to come and use Latin language to be describing how you make the agreement. They want you to write English that they understand the language of that industry while complying with the legal requirements. So you have a duty as a lawyer. If you have identified an area you want to work in, to familiarize yourself with that industry. I don't say you should go and start in the movie, but you can know enough to let them know under 1 second they can add the movie. And once you start providing such solution, you can actually determine your fees because your extent, the nature and extent of your work, it depends on the value you bring to the table. So you cannot give advice in an industry where you don't know anything about it, or your client is the one explaining the rules to you. What kind of a lawyer are you? You can only just get what we call fringe clients. But serious people don't have time to waste in your office. They want to tell you, I want to sue so and so record company. And you already know how to get the injunction because you are familiar with that industry and you know where to pin the other guy down so that he will perform. So these are the things that you must know. Knowledge of the industry is so important. And in the process, when they have seminars like this in that area, you have to attend the conferences. From involvement in those conferences, you make very good networking where you can now speak and know people in that industry. And when they see the way you talk at those forum or fora, the people will, you just register in their mind. If they have problem, they'll call you up. But you cannot sit in your office and hope the brief will come to you. This is not the type of industry. Like police will arrest somebody and be looking for the signboard lawyer. No, people already know who they will hire within the industry. They don't just walk to any lawyer. So you have to prove your work by attending conferences in this area. It's very critical. You're good with that. And so apart from competence as a entertainment, you should also know that entertainment industry thrives on relationship. Thus, an entertainment lawyer should take time to meet people who work within the industry and acquire positive knowledge, but about their businesses, whether it is a change in technology